Hey guys, welcome back to another What If Here. Today we're doing part 7 to What If Naruto wakes up as a girl after rave. If you want to know what happened last part, then there'll be a link in the description down below which take you to a place where you can watch all the previous parts in order and any other future part that gets added into this series. Or you can watch this all the way through and then click on the top left hand corner when the end screen cards appear, which will take you to the exact same playlist. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get into this. So it'd be a couple of months since the encounter with the bridge, Tenchi Bridge reconnaissance mission. Since somewhat that where Naruto, Kakashi, and Sakura had faced against Orochimaru, Kabuto, and then they'd went back to, or at least they'd tracked down Orochimaru to his base, to where they'd proceeded to attack him, and yeah, to which Sasuke stole, or at least had found out, and had a rude awakening that he was still a lot weaker than Naruto. And yeah, anyway, though, doing that time, she'd of course continue to train and work on a new jutsu. And yeah, though, or at least to tell for things, she'd be walking around. She'd been walking around Konoha hunting down for the rookie 11, or more so 10 if you exclude the South. And she'd been giving them similar ages to kunai and telling them about whenever they're against obviously incredible dangerous odds like S-rank criminals, the Akatsuki. Well, yeah, mainly that, or their life is potentially going to die against an enemy, to simply throw the kunai and well, yeah, though she didn't explain much more than that, as she'd given them or at least just a look of at least told them that she was. Well, yeah, that just pretty much they just ended up taking it. Though, yeah, the last, or at least 3 people she was looking for was team 10. Yeah, though she'd end up, or at least seeing the gate, and then she'd see team 10. So she'd shoot on forward and yell out wait, as it looked like they were about to go. They'd look back and they'd see Naruto run up to them. They'd be confused, what would she want for them, or did the Hokage have something else for them? Yeah, she'd appear and would simply say sorry for holding them up, but she wants to give them or at least or at least Shikamaru something. And which she'd quack an eye, and she'd simply state that she's got or at least enough for the other, or at least Ino and Choji as well, but she'd simply state that it'd be the best to have it for right now if they're going on a mission. Just nodding curious as she'd hand him over a kunai, quack an eyebrow, and she'd give him a looking at it, just told him to not ask those, though you'd ask, and she'd state simply throw it when he'd know the time when to throw it, but pretty much throw it when his or his potential team, or his team lives were on the line. He'd be somewhat confused by it, but would just shrug and put it in his pouch, to which would obviously go, oh, so you have a crush on Shikamaru, do you? Naruto just turn around and would go, well, how'd you like to die, Sakura? Not Sakura, Ino. To which Ino would somewhat go pale and would somewhat walk back and go, I'm joking. Yeah, and Naruto go, well, I'm not. And she'd somewhat go up and, yeah, from somewhat, well, Ino's, or at least somewhat, Naruto really never kind of got along much with Ino. Yeah, heck, Naruto could just barely somewhat can just tolerate Sakura. As, just didn't know why, but Thomas somewhat, or at least somewhat those two were always, were somewhat on, about boys. So if she talked to somewhat anyone or, giving any somewhat semi boy a gift or that, well, not really gift, but say, something, or hanging around with, some other person, or just maybe, wanting to, catch up with someone, they'd think it'd be a, bloody somewhat date, and, yeah. Though, yeah. Though, of course, Sakura had done that one too many times and had somewhat met Naruto's very much anger. So, Sakura very much now just stayed very much quiet, and she'd rather not spend a month in hospital. To which, it's not they could have killed her, but she didn't. Pretty much telling her that it was her own fault. And that she should somewhat know by now to not open her bloody mouth about boys around Naruto. And yeah. Anyway, though from there, of course, somewhat the somewhat Akatsuki, yeah, that's what it's called, the Akatsuki suppression mission, but it'd be Kakasu and what's the other person's name? Hidon and Kakasu. And yeah, I've got so much. And well, they haven't actually gone after the somewhat Two Tails or somewhat Jujutsu due to the somewhat fact that of course they didn't have somewhat the One Tails. So it would somewhat be stupid to go after obviously somewhat the Two Chests and Shirky, as obviously they can obviously seal it somewhat, the Two Tails somewhat into the Ghetto statue right away due to the fact that, the One Tails isn't sealed inside of it. So, yeah. And so, somewhat from there, they would somewhat, so of course they'd be, going into obviously somewhat fight, the Fire Nation like in canon, to of course somewhat look for money, to somewhat go hunting for, of course, somewhat money. And of course somewhat, Team somewhat 10 would have had the exact same mission like they would have been given, to which, of course, seemingly somewhat the entire, or at least initial part would go the same, when obviously somewhat Asuma would be caught up in the kind of ritual somewhat thing, and yeah, it would already somewhat be hurt, though just as somewhat Hidon was about to, just as somewhat, though I see them go, well, or at least somewhat Kakasu would somewhat tell him to have it up, to which Hidon would go fine, and he was, going to obviously somewhat, obviously piss his somewhat heart, which would obviously piss, or at least somewhat the damage would also appear on to Asuma, to which somewhat, of course, already somewhat, team, or at least the rest of Team 10, sort of realising that, somewhat, you obviously want to try something, anything, when you'd end up remembering the kunai and somewhat Naruto had given him, and somewhat him, he'd somewhat just wonder what enough it'd do, but surely, something could obviously do something right. Maybe it's like, it's saying, maybe it's somewhat like high explosive, somewhat like a highly explosive like kunai, something like that. And so he'd throw it, and somewhat to his or somewhat surprise, while batting somewhat in Konoha, Naruto would somewhat just be somewhat sparring against what a shadow clone, when all of a sudden she'd feel a somewhat slight somewhat seemingly slight tug, which should realise what it was on a shadow clone, would immediately dispel and should immediately seemingly disappear and would reappear sort on the seemingly now very far away from Konoha. Yeah. This was no higher Shen. Before anyone comments, this was her own jutsu, her own teleportation jutsu. And yeah, somewhat married, obviously, somewhat Team 10 would be dumb strong. She could teleport. When the heck did she somewhat learn to do that? And well, yeah, of course, during the 2.5 time skip, she had learned somewhat Funjutsu and had then somewhat kind of ran away with that, simply somewhat, yeah, not quite literally, but pretty much, yeah, like, it's mine, pretty much just ran away with it, and making somewhat some all these complex seals, so complex that Dryer couldn't even wrap his head around it. And of course Tsunade did know a bit about Funjutsu, more so kind of Uzumaki, on the lines of Uzumaki somewhat Funjutsu, so should somewhat help a small bit, but yeah, both of them couldn't comprehend the, or at least somewhat seals Naruto could make. Granted, they'd have, simple functions like a barrier or a maybe storage cell, but the cell matrix, the thing that makes the, say, obviously makes it actually work, was just more complex than anything that I've seen. And yeah. Anyway, though they somewhat, yeah, should, of course, somewhat, well, yeah, mentioned Pidge had also somewhat grabbed the kunai out from the somewhat air, and would somewhat look and could see Willis, and she'd somewhat be surprised. She'd read through the entire somewhat bingo book in every country's bingo book, and yeah, and she'd be surprised to see somewhat Kakasu and Hidon, and more specifically, obviously, somewhat, she could obviously understand why, and Hidon would go, well, at least Kakasu would go, the 9,000 jerky, and somewhat they'd know that, and he'd go, Hidon, somewhat, stop somewhat delaying, get it done now, we need to get out of here. And somewhat, of course, Hidon didn't really, of course, enjoy taking orders, but somewhat, even though at least somewhat he knew that, of course, Naruto was very much an Ash rank shinobi in the bingo book, so yeah. And somewhat the master Pain was very much very somewhat wary of her, to the point where he'd somewhat stated that they'd like to go after her. The entire Katsuki would have to go after her and work as a single team. That was just insane that he'd feared her that much, and yeah. Though she'd seemingly, or at least seemingly somewhat disappear, and would seemingly reappear where Hidon would be somewhat standing, or at least was standing, as somewhat Hidon would be shot off somewhere into the trees, going, yeah. Thankfully, just somewhat in time, as, of course, somewhat, well, yeah, somewhat just barely saving, Asuma's life. And yeah, of course, somewhat, well, yeah, they obviously somewhat should be obviously then, running forward somewhat to Asuma and be somewhat healing him and getting, and yeah, somewhat pulling him away from the somewhat sill or odd somewhat thing on the ground. And yeah, she'd go somewhat verbal, and he'd somewhat hear groan and would go, what? And they would seemingly somewhat have a somewhat conversation to which, or at least they'd somewhat end up stating that or at least somewhat could, or at least you could let heed on somewhat say take some of her blood to form that odd seal somewhat thing, and then she could potentially somewhat, before it was fully formed, or once it was formed, potentially alter it just enough for somewhat it to be a kind of, in a way, one-way, two-way street. In other words, where somewhat his pain would obviously go to her, but she could obviously somewhat, though Fox should obviously be able to pretty much heal it, and of course somewhat that would obviously transfer over to somewhat Hedon, but somewhat would be say her using the 9,000 chakra, which would go back to him due to the somewhat corrosive nature of the chakra, and somewhat his pain would then transfer back to her. A two-way, one-way-ish street. Though she'd somewhat ended up reminding Fox that the corrosiveness of it, of its chakra, she'd gotten used to that, long ago, so it was pretty much no longer corrosive to her, which, if it wasn't corrosive to her, then, well, it wouldn't do any damage, and it'd end up kind of going, right, well, I guess the only other thing you can do is use that jutsu if it's somewhat ready, and she'd let us say, I can try it. I can't say it will work, as you know. And she'd somewhat nod, well, it's the only chance you have, I guess. Yeah, she'd somewhat nod as she'd somewhat start speeding through hand signs to such a vast degree, to somewhat such a degree, pretty much somewhat all of them would be seen, besides on maybe Hedon and Kaksu, though Hedon was currently, through a couple hundred trees. So really only Kaksu would see her speed through somewhat hand signs. And yeah, when she'd somewhat end up finishing and would state somewhat spiritual clone, somewhat jutsu. And it was somewhat, it's pretty much like a shadow clone, but pretty much somewhat not exactly using, obviously, say her as a template, or at least somewhat use her body as it's her, well, not really her chakra. It's like, of course, if you say to use the fox and use, purely say the fox's chakra and made a shadow clone, it'd still be her, and it'd be her chakra because her chakra is still in her body. So yeah, it'd somewhat appear as her. Would they have the fox's chakra? Maybe. But yeah, but something this jutsu pretty much, well, it didn't really, it's still somewhat like any of the somewhat normal shadow clone jutsu used her own chakra, but she could instead somewhat kind of in a way use, say, somebody else potentially as the form, or at least somewhat in a way she could say in pretty much be like, say, given somebody else somewhat the ability, the momentarily somewhat ability to take a killing blow without dying, to say. And yeah, so pretty much normal similarly shadow clone would pop into existence, but instead it'd have blood red eyes. And yeah, it'd be the 9-tailed fox. And yeah, though the limit, though it'd go, though it'd somewhat, though it'd simply state, well, it's been a long time since I've been able to stretch out, and yeah, though somewhat asthma still being obviously somewhat conscious and somewhat feeling obviously this somewhat feeling and a feeling he'd only felt once before, he'd go, she's let out the nine tails. He'd somewhat just get out to it. Somewhat Choji and Shikamaru would just tell him to somewhat stay quiet and to, somewhat, save his strength. And yeah. And somewhat, in a way, she did, of course. It did come back with a massive side effect, which was to the fact his soul was now, somewhat spirit/soul was now somewhat obviously not in her, and now somewhat in the clone. Of course, the clone had a single tail's worth of the Fox's chakra, which was a kind of limit. Somewhat the chakra inside of her, somewhat was obviously would be going somewhat rampage. And well, yeah, so pretty much she had to use her chakra chains somewhat to pretty much to obviously then somewhat subdue the chakra, which would be somewhat incredibly hard, or very much damn hard, and even harder to do while somewhat fighting. So it pretty much put a heavy drain on her somewhat reserves. Yeah, so it was very much on a time limit. And yeah, that, and also somewhat the one tells or somewhat of the nine tails chakra. Well, once that was out in the clone, it'd return back to Naruto. And yeah, so though it would somewhat change its form from obviously somewhat looking like Naruto to a somewhat obviously being somewhat male, and also being a more somewhat masculine build, though still somewhat on the obviously slimmer side, but still very much a lot more masculine. And yeah, though from there, somewhat she'd state, so I guess you take heed on, which is not, I say that's stupid, and somewhat, and that stupid idiot, what somewhat immortal really means. And he'd somewhat go off, and she then somewhat charging at Kakasu. And yeah, and somewhat from there she'd end up managing to actually get a couple of hits on him, and one of those hits she'd applied somewhat marker, teleportation mark. And yeah, though from there she'd she'd then somewhat charge up a normal sort of Rasengan, and would similarly disappear, ripping somewhat in front of him and slamming it somewhat to his chest, or more specifically where his heart should very much be. And it was somewhat drilling as should very much up its power and keep it compressed to the point of where it drill right into him, and should let it destabilize in him, so it should be kind of shot backwards quite far due to the somewhat sheer amount of chakra coursing somewhat through the Rasengan at the time. So it should somewhat run after Kakasu just to make sure he was dead, and once they'd arrive, should be shot. That was definitely somewhat the indication that he'd similarly stopped here, but then she'd have the odd somewhat feeling and would immediately jump up to the sky to Kakasu would somewhat appear, or tentacles would appear, and then from there Kakasu would end up somewhat appearing somewhat in the glare, and would go somewhat once we get the other once we seal away that the nine tails, I'll make sure I'll somewhat rip your own heart out and use it as my own, as somewhat a replacement for the one you just destroyed. Should be somewhat confused, and you'd go, well, at the very least have 9, somewhat 4 more 4 more hearts. And he would then, somewhat from the 3 masks would of course come off his back, and she'd somewhat realise that if those 3 masks were also somewhat hearts, then the one, obviously somewhat his heart, she ended up destroying, or somebody else's heart in him, somewhat she destroyed, which so she'd end up realising, which meant that she'd have to pretty much give a killing blow onto him 4 more times to actually kill him. And so some time would go by, and she would indeed manage to actually get down the 2 other hearts. Though so she'd be somewhat looking around, she'd hear, or at least she'd go, so you're somewhat struggling, you're struggling with him, huh? And she'd blink, Fable, what you somewhat turn back. I've dealt with somewhat Hedon, which should be somewhat only that immortal person whoever he's called, Hedon. Yeah, him. You did make sure he was dead while he buried. And well, there. So she'd just somewhat just nod, and yeah, they'd state that it would be nice if you could, and she'd just somewhat mentally go quickly into her mind, somewhat releasing the chains, which were now pretty much wrapped around the fox instead of a somewhat just ball of a not a cylinder, a sphere of somewhat just chaotic chakra. It was now pretty much the foxes. He's now somewhat back as the 9th fox or Chroma. Yeah, though from there she'd somewhat bounce right back into the battle and seemingly somewhat teleport quickly away. Yeah, though Kaksu'd would somewhat kind of run after her, simply somewhat kind of obviously very much now somewhat more enraged as he'd lost all 4 of his hearts, and he only had somewhat 1 more. Yeah, of course he would somewhat kill her. He didn't care somewhat if it meant they'd have to wait potentially 9 years for the fox to reform or that. Didn't care, he wanted her dead. And so yeah, though would go, so running away, are you? And she'd go, nah, I was just getting some distance so I could charge this up, and she'd reappear somewhat behind him, to which he'd realise, and then he'd somewhat end up kind of being somewhat leant forward as she'd appear right in front of him. She'd go this, as she'd go Russian shuriken, right into his front, and obviously somewhat from that he'd be shot backwards a bit, and sometimes she'd walk away, she'd just simply go boom, to which it would proceed to somewhat detonate, pretty much like it did in Canning, though this time actually killing him. And yeah, goes from 1910, it would be their first time seeing the raw power of the Russian shuriken. They've somewhat heard, of course, somewhat of it, and the fact that it was an S-rank jutsu, to which she was the only one that could do it. And yeah, though somewhat from there, though, she'd somewhat slightly sway, though something would be somewhat panting heavily, similarly to which they'd somewhat ask if she was okay, and she'd somewhat nod, simply stating the jutsu she had used somewhat earlier to make that clone used a lot more chakra, as it was a different type of clone, to say. They just somewhat nod, and yeah, they should somewhat ask how Asma was doing, to which somewhat it'd state that they'd have to get him back to the hospital, somewhat kind of now, yeah, she just nodded, and yeah, she'd put her hand somewhat on Shikamaru and Toji, to which they'd, well, at least one would hold Ino, and the other one somewhat put her hand on somewhat Asuma, and obviously Ino would also be holding somewhat onto Asuma as they would seem to disappear into a somewhat red flash, reappearing on top of the sort of hospital roof, to which Team Ten would somewhat sunshine down and into the hospital, and yeah, from there she just somewhat kind of just sit there, somewhat waiting, and sometime later, an hour or so later, Shikamaru somewhat walk out, and somewhat Shikamaru would walk towards the Hokage, or at least with somewhat sunshine over to the Hokage's office, though before they would do that, should hand him over the somewhat kunai from my like throne, and yeah, he'd somewhat nod, and yeah, from there they would somewhat obviously then sunshine over to the Hokage's office, and they would somewhat report, and yeah. And obviously when he'd state, you know, why obviously Naruto was there, and somewhat, and yeah, those should end up, or at least somewhat, and yeah, should obviously somewhat then kind of obviously, you know, continue on with actually somewhat stating, you know, the fight and that, and yeah, from there should nod, those should tell obviously Shikamaru that what so much she could do was an S-rank secret, and that he'd be killed if he tells anyone, and which he'd just nod, and he'd somewhat tell, or at least state that he'd pass it on to his somewhat two teammates, and potentially ask him if he saw anything, to which she'd just somewhat nod, and she'd then tell him that he was dismissed, to which he'd leave, and yeah, once somewhat he'd leave, she'd then somewhat turn to Naruto and would ask him if she managed to, you know, make the somewhat, you know, teleportation, as from what she knew, the fourth potentially destroyed somewhat any all knowledge about the somewhat High-Shin, to which should state that it wasn't the High-Shin, and that it was her own form of teleportation. It was which she'd be surprised, but would somewhat nod at that, and yeah, from there they would somewhat talk for a while. Yeah, though eventually they somewhat should be, of course, dismissed, and yeah, and somewhat, oh yeah, from there, some obviously more time would somewhat pass, as well, yeah, already somewhat, well, yeah, as somewhat soon they would end up calling in somewhat, well, at least Naruto, and should somewhat appear, somewhat asking obviously somewhat what, or at least, you know, somewhat what did she somewhat, oh yeah, how did she somewhat hey Parchan, somewhat you called, so it should so as I would somewhat twitch, they should nod yes now to by any chance do you think you could seal away a tailed beast? Should someone blink and blink again, and then being somewhat confused, to which the fox would state, so he's back, and should be so confused, and should state out loud, who's back? Who's back? Somewhat fireball, to which somewhat snotted, somewhat sweat drop. Sweat drop seemed like the fox caught on and or realised what she was meaning. Somewhat the three tails should blink. She'd somewhat meant to say what Isbu, I suppose. However you say somewhat its name, his name. to which Fox should just somewhat nod at, and should somewhat should somewhat should hit somewhat cough, and should somewhat should somewhat scratch somewhat her cheek, and she'd somewhat she'd go sorry, well presume you mean telling where the three tails. She'd nod and she'd go, well if you want somewhat maybe, but it'd have to be into a person. To which I don't think a person, sure you could. You should shake her head, it'd be temporarily, but it would be too dangerous to, and yeah, it would somewhat, the only potential way would be somewhat a still somewhat powerfully designed to somewhat counteract its corrosive nature, or at least to use it somewhat its own chakra against itself, but the seal would also have to be somewhat resistant to its corrosive chakra, to which so I'd ask, surely she could make a seal she has before, somewhat, with the somewhat with being able to sustain the fox chakra, to which she'd just shake her head and state that's the fox's corrosive chakra. Each tailed beast somewhat corrosive chakra is different. The the somewhat Fables chakra may be the most corrosive, but somewhat each somewhat one is of course corrosive in its own somewhat way. In somewhat own somewhat way, and that so I could make a somewhat seal that can resist its corrosive. Somewhat it could be strong against it, but it would weaken over time due to its corrosive, due to the fact it's it's not synchronized to it. It's somewhat the three tails is corrosive chakra nature. So yeah. She'd somewhat just nod at that and she'd sigh and she'd state, well, I don't think anyone's going to somewhat willingly volunteer herself. And yeah, though somewhat, how did someone, go, somewhat missed, it's going, well, at least, it's somewhat Mizukage. Of course, the blood, somewhat, I presume you know about bloodline purges, right? And should think, yeah, Zabza spoke about that. It's somewhat not known about the obviously somewhat A rank, C turned A rank for that first somewhat mission, and yeah, and well, yeah, and so somewhat that ended, yeah. Sort of actually pretty much somewhat 3 years now. And yeah, she'd somewhat just nod. And no, somewhat 2 years ago or something like that anyway, it's somewhat reformed now. And they somewhat don't want nothing to do with it, so they'd somewhat asked us if somewhat we'd obviously somewhat like somewhat like it, and if not, they'd ask one of the other somewhat villages, hidden villages. And yeah, she just somewhat nod, and those I'd state though that yeah, though so they though somewhat as they would though somewhat though they'd similarly, or at least somewhat after a bit more talking between one another, there'd be a somewhat knocking to the door to somewhat in which I'd obviously state to come in, to which it'd somewhat be Sakura stating about the somewhat just hospital reports and that. And yeah, she'd be they should go out. Am I somewhat interrupting anything? So it's Tsunade just somewhat shake her head and state that it was pretty much sort of all over, to which they should somewhat start Sakura. Well, Sakura did have meant to think of the, amazing of the chakra control and somewhat, and from what she already somewhat knew, if the seal was done correctly, surely sort of Sakura's control wouldn't be, obliterated. Surely, plus, someone her chakra would only get, or at least somewhat with, or at least, should somewhat look to Sakura and should go, actually, Sakura, I've got something important to ask you, to which Naruto would snap her head, trying to go, you can't be serious, but, and should wave Naruto off, and, somewhat should look to them somewhat confused and should ask what it was, to which Tsunade would somewhat reveal that the 3 Towers has been back and that they'd have to, go and seal it away, and that why Naruto was here, to obviously talk about, sealing it away, to which obviously Naruto would state, or at least Naruto would state, the only way, really, or at least the best and long-term obviously solution would be to seal it inside of a person, to which she could make a seal to, do so. To which Sakura just nod and should then realise, wait, you want me? So now they'd go, well, it's up to you. You have obviously some of the chakra reserves to, so you have obviously such good control that it shouldn't really somewhat deal somewhat hurt your chakra control, to which Naruto somewhat, or at least to which Naruto somewhat snort and go, we didn't even alter her chakra control. Naruto, but your mine was bad because I was practically born with the fox, which meant I pretty much had, obviously, I had zero control over my chakra when I was obviously a newborn, so having the fox just meant my reserves got bigger and bigger without obviously zero training. Sakura, to which already has obviously chakra control, her control will get harder if she doesn't train it over time, due to the injection of the 3 Towers of chakra to get her own body used to it, to its corrosive nature, so that if she were to ever try and use it, she wouldn't die from trying to use it. To which Tsunade just nod and would look over to Sakura and go, well, Sakura? She'd somewhat look and she'd somewhat look at the two and she'd somewhat think and she'd go, well, she'd take in some breath and she'd go, and she'd somewhat nod, she'd somewhat just nod at that, and to which Naruto would go, and apparently Fireball says he's pretty somewhat timid, so he's somewhat, Sakura would somewhat just crack an eyebrow like that, but would somewhat nod, and though from there, somewhat, obviously the same team which would be formed would end up going like in somewhat canon, though they would be mainly, though they'd mainly be there to obviously somewhat aid, and also potentially protect Naruto from probably the Akatsuki, which have probably also caught on to somewhat have been obviously somewhat, or at least the 3 Towers, and and of course somewhat Naruto, and so should then someone go, and unlike in canon, it would be successful, should seal it within Sakura, though Sakura would be completely out, and probably out for a couple of days or so, and probably somewhat even longer when it came to chakras. Obviously a network could have been put on somewhat in an extreme somewhat, agony, and with obviously her not being a Nuzmakia, she would have no incredible somewhat healing factor. So a somewhat chakra network would have to heal itself slowly over time, which, and due to the fact, of course, somewhat Tsunade can't obviously heal the chakra network, Sakura's pretty much all alone. And yeah, though somewhat, or at least the interaction between Naruto and Itachi would also still surprisingly go down. I think it was that fight, the somewhat three tails. But anyway, in which Itachi gave Naruto a chrome which had Shishui's eye, or at least had put it in Naruto's mouth. Naruto was knocked out or something like that. Yeah, that would of course somewhat still happen. And yeah, and then somewhat from there they would return, and a couple of days would go by. Or well, somewhat a somewhat week or two to a month or so would go by, to which somewhat Team 7, and yeah, somewhat Team 7, Naruto, Kakashi, Sakura, and Sai would somewhat return from a C rank mission. And yeah, as Kakashi would somewhat reporting, mission complete, Naruto somewhat not look all that happy, and understanding why she's somewhat obviously somewhat Jonin and was more than used to taking B and A rank missions, and yeah, somewhat now being thrown back to C rank, it was pretty, or at least for her, somewhat annoying and just a waste of her abilities, very much so. And yeah, anyway, though somewhat Naruto, or at least was also, or at least somewhat, even though she looked somewhat annoyed, she would also somewhat be kind of curious to know why Jiraiya was there. And yeah, somewhat once the mission obviously briefing was done and that, she then gestured somewhat to Jiraiya. I should go, I believe you've got something to tell them, Jiraiya, and to which he'd somewhat nod, and he'd proceed to somewhat tell them that Sasuke has killed Orochimaru, to which I just stabbed him, and yeah, and somewhat, but yeah, Naruto would state, well, that's somewhat impossible. There's no way Sasuke would be nowhere near strong enough to kill Orochimaru. Well, believe it or not, somewhat Brad, he did kill him. To which even, well, yeah, in Kakashi would obviously somewhat go, that's just hard to believe. Then there's obviously no way he could have, jumped up to, high S rank, if not double S rank, to which Naruto would then go, wait, then there is a chance, potentially, to say somewhat look at, and it'd go, well, at least somewhat when I was fighting him, obviously somewhat months back, but yeah, when I was somewhat fighting him, I ended up somewhat, he seemed weaker than somewhat before, when, somewhat doing the Forest of Death, he seemed weaker, and whilst that could obviously be, somewhat me being stronger, but he was going all out, and yeah, so unless he somewhat gets weaker to a point of where he would then have to somewhat, get so weak to which he'd fall below Sasuke, to which Sasuke would then be strong, to somewhat then Orochimaru, to which Sasuke would obviously somewhat know of, and then go, and then somewhat then Orochimaru would obviously try and snatch Sasuke's body to obviously be able to use Sharingan and learn every jutsu. And yeah, but Sasuke would take that and somewhat, or at least the advantage, and or at least somewhat Sasuke would obviously pounce before Orochimaru would somewhat be ready to transfer over to Sasuke and somewhat try to go and of course might be able to successfully kill him. Yeah, indeed. So it's like, well, the only thing I would have to say was that that sounds right. I obviously can't verify if it's true or not, but I would have to agree with you that that sounds like the most likely possibility. And yeah, from there, though Oli somewhat Sakura would pipe up and would go, well, if he's somewhat away, then surely, it'd be better now than never to, somewhat go after him and bring him back, right? To which they'd somewhat stutter and she'd go, hey, I know, I'm probably gonna have to stay here. I still can't really use my chakra, and I can use it, but it's somewhat still painful. And yeah. And, well, yeah, so from there, the same team would go, like in canon. I think the only, if Sakura would be there, which I don't remember if she was, maybe she was. If she was, she somewhat wouldn't be there due to obviously having the somewhat the 3 towers being sealed inside of her. And yeah. Anyway, so from that they would obviously try and go after someone, Sasuke, to which obviously, Toby somewhat of course intercept, and from there somewhat, obviously Naruto try and hit him, to which it somewhat failed, though Toad end up getting somewhat an idea, or Obito would end up getting somewhat the idea of, well, you could end up trying to control her. After all, he'd been able to control all the 3 tails, so he should be able to control the 9 tails, and it's somewhat Jinchuriki. After all, he'd controlled it, the full power, the 9 tails much before, so he'd somewhat give it to a shot, and much to his somewhat happiness, her eye, somewhat a blue, obviously somewhat black blue eyes would turn into red somewhat eyes with 3 tama in each of them, to which it's somewhat smacking it, and he'd somewhat state to kill them, though to his then somewhat shock, her eyes would then flash bright blue again, and she'd go, nice try, and would then proceed to somewhat punch him, fling him far somewhat away, though she'd immediately go into a mindscape, somewhat, and yeah, that already somewhat her time in her somewhat mind would slow down, and she'd somewhat go over and would proceed to somewhat suppress the fox, as the fox would still be under somewhat somewhat Obito's control, and after somewhat suppressing it to a high after somewhat suppressing his chakra for long enough, the fox would end up going, you can, and would somewhat end up falling, or at least somewhat asleep, due to being just so much suppressed. She then somewhat would somewhat release the fox. So she could have released it when it told her to, but she did, she wanted to play it safe. And yeah, though how did she break it? Well, she'd made somewhat, or at least she knew she'd obviously be, a issue with obviously some genjutsu, and with the fox obviously telling her about the, a genjutsu strong enough to control it. She'd, or at least had made a seal that would pretty much it would obviously be able to seal away any chakra that wasn't her own, and due to the fact genjutsu was implanting their own chakra into the person, and that's Sharingan based genjutsu, and that were obviously a lot harder to somewhat release, as it was directly put into the brain, so there was no, it was just harder to get out by she managed to make a somewhat thing, a seal in which very much just, instead of trying to get rid of it, it would just seal away the chakra and then let it out. And then someone let it out into the air to obviously just disperse. And yeah, that's how she was able to pretty much, or at least somewhat, she was pretty much genjutsu immune to any and all genjutsu, no matter how strong it is, or somewhat what it was from, be it Sharingan or Rini Sharingan or Mangekyo Sharingan, Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, it'd all be useless to her. Even the Rinnegan would be useless. Any Rinnegan based genjutsu would be useless against her due to somewhat its ability to seal away chakra. And yeah, and it could also seal away her own chakra if sort of her own somewhat, chakra was the thing being molded into the genjutsu. It could seal it. It could seal the thing that's being molded into it, and somewhat just seal that away, which would return flow back to normal, breaking the genjutsu. And yeah. Anyway, those should somewhat open up, or someone should step up and arise again, and should realise barely even 2 seconds had gone by. Yeah, they'd somewhat be ready, though Toby would end up, or at least similarly appearing much more, but stating that it was fun, but he had to go, and he would also, of course, take Sasuke with him. And of course, and so from there, once Sasuke would obviously wake up, Toad / Obito would end up telling Sasuke, and convert obviously Sasuke to his team, to his side. And yeah, and so from there, that's where I'm going to end this part here, guys. So if you have enjoyed this part, do tell me in the comments down below. And yeah, guys and girls, have a good day or night, depending on wherever you are and whenever someone you watch this. And just remember, Monday will be a different what if to this one, depending on if you want part 8 or not. And yeah, guys, anyway, have a good day or night, depending on wherever you are and whenever someone you watch this. And goodbye.